Hello and welcome back to another video. This time I'm going to be taking a look at the PvP Season 16 gear, and this is going to be covering the Warrior and the Paladin. Now this is the regular Conquest gear, it's not the starter off Honor gear, and it's not the Elite Conquest gear. So first of all, let's cover the Warrior. I've got to say, I think this thing is bloody amazing. In fact, I prefer it quite a bit over the PvE equivalent, and I think one of the main reasons for that is the eyes on the helm. I think that looks really cool. Now the helm does have this giant big tusk thingy at the top, which, okay, maybe that's a little bit unfortunate, but, or not tusk, blade. I still think that it does look rather cool though. And overall, I just think the colouring of this and the various different recolors do look really well, actually. There's just something about it that looks menacing. It certainly looks like a PvP piece, in that it looks like it's very much designed for killing people. Which, I mean, I don't like killing people in real life, but in games I bloody well love it. Now, in terms of other things, well, it's rather similar in many regards to the PvE equivalent. If you look at, say, the feet and the arms and maybe the chest plate, they're sort of similar. I think that the shoulders are a little bit different, so it's nice to see them. I think they're actually very warrior-fitting shoulders. I know often I sort of speak out against ridiculously large ones. I think it's totally okay in a warrior. It's just that in, say, a clothy, I don't think it makes as much sense to have crazy shoulders. But for a warrior, you want to make them look like some giant half-tank battle mech. Or at least that's what I think Blizzard want to do. The belt is a little bit too big, but whatever. I think that's just down to the way that they do belts, in that it's kind of just bolted on to the waist. Anyway, with that done, let's look at the Paladin. So, one little disclaimer, this is a very rough model. You can see there just with the back of the head and the way the helm goes on. Not really done, but I thought it was at least complete enough to just to make it worth me showing the bit of gear to you. I saw the tier 6, or not tier, the season 16 rogue gear, and frankly it just wasn't ready to be shown yet, so that's why it's not here. And this is, I suppose, a bit of gear that a lot of people, I could imagine, are going to criticize for being really dull and un-Paladin-ish. Now, I don't know if it was the season 15 or 14 Paladin gear, but there was one that just looked really evil and menacing that I loved, but a lot of people didn't seem to like it because it didn't look like a Paladin. Honestly, the way I see it is, a Paladin PvP set should look like some of the really menacing Crusader stuff from, like, our own timeline, because even though they're doing it in the name of the religion, often great evils and terrible things are done in that name, and it's cool if a piece of gear reflects that. I think you see a lot of games that have got Crusaders in them have, like, some of those crazy menacing helms and various things like that, but then they just sort of art it up a little bit and amplify it just to make it look even more evil, and I think that looks really well on a Paladin. With a warrior, the set is just, hey, I'm a bloody living tank. But I think with a PvP Paladin, if you can make something look like it's sort of, you know, good, well, I don't want to say good, like, you know, sort of ideas and things that are being twisted. So the whole Paladin thing is, hey, I do the light stuff, it's great, yay, healing. But for PvP, if that's like that supposedly good things being twisted and made violent and stuff, then, or at least not violent, maybe just evil, violent, whatever, then I think it actually works really well if a bit of gear for Paladin looks a bit more dark and menacing and things like that. Now, in terms of the piece itself, I think the shoulders are really cool. I like the white light. It kind of reminds me of one of the darker sets for a Crusader in Diablo 3. Actually, in fact, the Crusader is, I just love the art design of the Crusader. It's great. So there's that. I'm just looking at the rest of this guy. I mean, he's looking pretty good. Unfortunately, it just looks a little bit bland from some angles, though I'd imagine that once the spell effect on the shoulder is fully working, that will be less of a problem. Also, I'm not particularly sure about the blue that's here on the legs. That doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the set. I don't know if that is a problem on MMO Champions front in terms of the model that has been data mined. But I think overall this is a promising set. I know that a lot of people are probably going to not like it, but for some reason it just seems to work out pretty well for me. With all that said though, I'm still going to be keeping my Paladin transmog that you saw in my previous video because I like it. It's golden, and it's blue, and it's shiny, and when you throw your Light's Hammer and your Consecrate and a million other effects, it's just insane and sparkly, and that's cool. Anyway, so that's a quick little look at these two PvP sets. Overall, I think things are looking very good for PvP sets, and we're just going to have to wait and see as to what the other ones are like. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to tell me what you think of these various sets, and I'll see you next time.